Hello and welcome to ActivTrades biggest market movers. Today I'll be looking at the British pound against the US dollar. I'll be discussing the recent trading history on this currency pair, and I'll also be trying to identify some key technical areas as we move forward into another very important trading week for the British pound. This week we are light on data coming out of the UK economy. However, we do have the Jackson Hole meeting on Thursday and Friday, and that will surely be a market mover for the British pound. If we have a look at the recent trading history on this currency pair, we have so far made the higher low from the 127.70 area. Last week we made a low of 128.60, and I believe that if we do this week come down to retest that area and we do make another higher low, then that could potentially give the bulls a lot of confidence to try and take this currency pair up. But at the moment, the British pound, it does have a lot of work to do, and today, as well as having a look at the technical levels on this currency pair, I'd like to have a look at what British pound traders would really like to see to have the confidence to take this currency pair up. So if we have a look, last week the high was around the 131.75 area, and at the moment we're sitting around the 131.30, having been as high as 131.60 in trading. So I think what we need to see is last week's high taken out, so that we're making higher highs on a weekly basis, and then potentially we need to come down and test as close as to last week's low, but obviously not piercing that low, and still maintaining the dynamic of making higher highs on the currency pair, but also making higher lows, and then potentially we could see the bulls start to step in. I've made a Fibonacci retracement here from last week's low to the previous high structure around the 133.50 area, and we can see that we're sitting right around the 61.8, which is the 131.78, and that's a possible target for traders today to make their way up to there, making the higher high from last week, and then potentially will come down and test one of the Fibonacci levels. And this red trend line here, you can see, is really signifying a breakout of the recent downtrend. We've got the high here located around the 138, and obviously the most recent high of this structure. And if we can start to pierce this, as we've done, and we can keep above here on a weekly basis, and we can really start to potentially attack those former highs around the 133.80 level. But if we have a look for areas on the downside where we could potentially look to go long, I think 129.85 is a good level, and also really the structure break here around the 130.60. But I think there's a lot of events going on this week, and I think as closest to last week's low is a potential place where the bulls will look to step in. And obviously if we are making higher highs on a weekly basis, it does give them a lot of encouragement. But I think a lot of things happening on the pound, and it's going to be a very interesting pair to watch this week. Thank you very much. It's been ActivTrades biggest market movers.